Yo, name's Sheepy, and as you've seen from the title, this is a very important topic. We are going to talk about how some people, and I mean maybe a lot of people, don't consider cartoons nor anime art. Now, I know what you're thinking. Whoa! Those people are pretty dumb. And to that I say, yeah, I mean, I agree. But at the same time, everyone comes from different backgrounds. Everyone comes from different, I guess, generations, especially the older artists. But yeah, we're gonna talk about today how different people have different opinions, but how in overall, at least for me, and I know maybe a lot of people agree, that anime and cartoons are indeed artwork. And I will start this off by saying a little bit about myself. I'm currently in my last year of college. I'm in an arts program, and I don't have a focus. I'm just doing my Bachelor of Art, but I've been able to do like so many different things, which is like really cool. But based on how I drew, not everyone believed I could actually be in the arts program. Actually, I've actually had a previous art teacher from high school say that my artwork wouldn't make it into art school. But yeah, she literally told me that cartoons or anime wouldn't make it in the world. And I kind of like questioned that because I'm like, well, what do you take a Disney or a Pixar or a Cartoon Network or a Nickelodeon? Yeah, exactly. But this teacher was like the traditional art teacher. You painted fruits, you did self-portraits, you did still lifes, whatever, in her class. And I mean, I understand that's like basic requirements or whatever in artwork, but that was her that was all she like basically knew, just those things. It was like she wasn't even open to accept other artworks. I don't even think she was into like anything contemporary either, from even like a generation or so ago. She was just more of like old school, and that can only take you so far, especially in the generation we are today. But I just because of the way I drew, and like this was high school, so like I drew a lot of like Sonic and stuff like that. But I mean, when it came to assignments, I wasn't like full on drawing Sonic all the time. I was drawing stuff in like a cartoonish style, but she did not like that at all. In fact, we had these book assignments that we had to like, she gave us like these schemes, and you were to make like a project out of an old book that we found and collage it basically. So I forgot like what my theme was. I still have my book, but she said, yeah, like kind of have an open mind, whatever, do whatever you feel like. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I did like cartoons, of course, whatever, because like that's what I liked and that's what I believed would match like the assignment. Well, everyone else, like I don't even remember what everyone else did, but like I think like in terms of like how creative like a lot of them were, like there's like a handful who I can like still remember. Like I had a good friend who was also pretty like into cartoons, but she was also really good at like realistic things, so like she got a pass from the teacher. Me, I wasn't too good at realistic art. Like I could do it, but like it would take me longer than everybody else. So this book assignment, I got we had these like meetings or whatever, and when it came to me, she kind of just basically roasted me. And I was like, oh, okay, like there's this one where I had like these balloons or whatever that had like different cartoon heads on them, saying something cheesy like, oh, the sky's the limit. I was in high school, give me some slack. And basically she was just like, I understand, this is just not really art. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I put my heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. And she did not appreciate it. In fact, I think that I was like the only person in class who like didn't get an A. She gave everyone else A's, and I'm like, wow, okay, cool, thanks. And then there are several instances where I tried realistic stuff. Like we went out on this field trip, quote unquote field trip. It was just like this park, like literally up the street from the school, and we were to like sketch out landscapes and then have like a painting and stuff of them. So like we did some research, looked around, took some pictures, and kind of get a feel for like what our final piece is going to look like. So I literally put everything into this because like at this point I knew the teacher didn't like me, so I was like, I really, really need to try my hardest on this. So I did the best I could. Like if I'm remembering the piece right, I mean it was good for what it was for me. Like high school, like I still had a long ways to go to where I am now. I still have a long ways to go, but it was the best I could do, and I was pretty proud of it. My friends liked it, and we all turned our stuff in at the same time. And then the next week, when we got our stuff back, guess who was the only person who didn't get an A? Me. In fact, I got a C, and I was just like, oh, that's I'm a little hurt. And like the teacher kind of like knew I spent a lot of time on it, but it was just kind of like she deviously gave me the C just because. And I'm just like, bruh, I spent so much time on this picture. How could you do this to me? But literally everyone else like got high A's and like mid B's, and I was the only person who got a C. So I was like, wow, I feel really hurt. And then another instance, there's like a lot of them. We did these self-portraits of ourselves with charcoal. Charcoal is a messy and tricky material to use. I love it now because I've had more practice with it, but like in high school, coming from like not really doing much with any other media besides like my lead pencils, it was pretty difficult to take on. So I did this like pretty piece. Like I actually thought it was really, really good. And a lot of my friends were like, yeah, this is really, really good. And I was like, oh, thanks. And the teacher comes around, she's like smirking as she's coming around. It's like the Jaws scene comes on, like when she's coming around, and they're like, oh Lord. So she comes around and like she's looking at everybody's piece, giving them their like info or whatever, like what they need to do to improve, but she's mostly giving everyone like good remarks and stuff. And then I was like, oh, okay, I feel confident, maybe she'll actually say something nice. I thought. So she comes up to mine and she just kind of like squints her eyes, and I'm just kind of like confused. I'm like, maybe she's trying to get a closer look, and she like moves her head a little closer, so I kind of back up a little bit, and then she says, I think you missed a spot. And I said, what? And she takes her hand and smudges the whole face of my self-portrait. Now, I was just a small little freshman at this time. No, sophomore at this time. And when that happens, when you get like embarrassed in front of the whole class, I don't know about you guys, but I just kind of cried. Like I didn't know what to, like she just kind of ruined my piece in front of everybody, and she was talking loud enough for everybody to hear, and she was just like, yeah, you need to fix that. And then she just walks away like with this proud look on her face. And like one of my friends actually tried to like say something, but then she was like threatening about his grade, so like he was kind of quiet. But then like after she left, they like comforted me, and I was just crying because I'm like, bro, you ruined my picture. And I thought it was good, but she just kind of walked away like, yeah, I did that. And I was just like, how could you do this? This case kind of shows you that not everyone's going to agree with you when it comes to considering anime and cartoons as artwork. I mean, like, it's easier now because we have like online platforms like Tumblr and YouTube and DeviantArt and stuff like that, where many people are like open and welcome, because like that's what kind of dominates nowadays. But in terms of like my high school, it wasn't so accepting. And in a way, like I can kind of understand where the teacher's coming from, because I guess they have like this, I guess like a guidebook they have to follow. But at the same time, it doesn't give them the right to rip somebody based on like what they like to draw or what they consider art. At the end of the day, art's kind of opinionated. Like, art's what you really make it. If my high school teacher was to go up to some animation company and say, hey, your art's not art, she would get roasted because we live in a higher time now. And I think that people like high school teachers, because I know she's not the only one. I know like many people have these experiences with other high school teachers, but high school teachers are used to going by the books, what goes by the school criteria. But it's come to a point in time where we really shouldn't be that way anymore. Like, we should be a little bit more open with assignments. Like, it's sad, but like we shouldn't still be just sitting in front of some plastic fruit and drawing it. No, we should be expanding our minds and drawing what we feel. I'm not saying that like everything in like high school art classes have to like center around cartoons and stuff like that, but like there's other styles too that teachers knock on, not just like illustration, but other styles included. But I just feel like we need to become, well, teachers, school systems in general need to be a little bit more open in the arts especially. With all of that being said, now talking to my fellow artists who draw cartoons and manga and anime and even illustrations too, I recommend that if this has ever happened to you or is currently happening to you, because many of you probably are still in high school in art classes, I encourage you to take what your teachers say with a grain of salt and keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, teachers are opinionated, and like, sure, they give you the grade, but at the same time, it doesn't really tell you whether you're a great artist or not. You shouldn't let somebody tell you what's art and what's not, because art is really what you make it, especially in animes and cartoons. I know if I continue to have that preconceived notion in my head that everything my teacher said about my art was right, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. Like, they even said so much as that I wouldn't make it into art school with my art, and when I was taking an AP class, that the highest I could possibly get was a 3, give or take. I got a 4 on that thing, and that itself was a confidence booster. But like, it kind of went back to me like going against what they said and proving them wrong. Not just to prove them wrong, but to like give myself that push, saying, yeah, you guys may not believe that this type of art style is effective, but I do, and I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And as a result, it helps me opt out of some classes for my freshman year of college, which was really, really cool. At the end of the day, we're all going to have naysayers about our art style, and we kind of have to get used to it because you can't please everybody. But at the same time, like, what would be the fun in pleasing everybody? You do need some, I guess, pushes to like push you forward. I mean, if I didn't have that criticism from my art teacher, I could honestly say that I wouldn't be where I am today. So like, in a way, I should be thanking her, even though she kind of made my high school experience miserable. But like, at the same time, that criticism like helped me to motivate myself to move forward. If you like the topic of this video and you enjoyed the discussion, please subscribe and like the video, and just comment and tell me like if you've had experiences like this, or if you draw cartoons or anime. Even if you don't and you still believe it's art, like, that's cool too. And yeah, tune in next time for another video, which I don't know, my stuff comes off the fly. But yeah, bye.